Oh, so that's why the rest of Blumhouse's movies have fucking sucked this year. Because they probably spent their entire year's budget on James McAvoy. And with good reason, because James McAvoy put his whole Scottish McAvussy into this movie. Welcome back, and once again, thank you for trusting me with your full spoiler movie reviews. That thing I do where I watch movies and I tell you all about them. As always, I am unpaid and unsponsored. And spoilers, all the spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, you can go ahead and scroll. I won't be offended. Spoilers. Okay, here we go. This is the 2024 remake of Speak No Evil. Not to be confused with the 2022 version, which I think was a remake. I'm not sure. I just know that there was like a 1970s version, which I didn't watch, and then they remade it, and I didn't watch that, and then there's this one that I did watch. And I'm sure everybody knows about this by now because every other commercial on the interweb has been the preview for Speak No Evil. Sorry. So here's the thing. When the movie opened with the Blumhouse logo, I was a little skeptical. This year has not been the year from them. I have made fun of them multiple fucking times. But they pulled through. Not perfectly. I got questions. I got comments. I got concerns. But I had fun, so we're doing good. Anyways, what is Speak No Evil about? In short, an overly aggressive swinging couple that really shouldn't have children like to prey on couples with children so that they can murder them and take their children because they want to have children and can't, but also they get some kind of sexual thrill from what I can see by killing yuppies. And the long version, do y'all remember Piper and Larry's relationship in Orange is the New Black? Well, picture that, but this is Piper post-prison, and then her and Larry actually get back together and get married and have a daughter. Which Piper Kerman actually, I think, did marry her Larry, but you get my point. So Piper and Larry are expats that moved to England with their daughter, and they went on vacation in Italy. Well, while they're at some sort of like all-inclusive resort or whatever, they meet James McAvoy and his wife, who are the aggressive swinging couple, and their quote-unquote son, and they make friends. And so when everybody gets back to their homes, James McAvoy's family invites Piper and Larry to, I think they're in Scotland. Like, presumably it's Scotland, because James McAvoy is Scottish. And they had guns, which I know for hunting purposes you can do because of Balmoral. I'm going to say Scotland. But anyways, the aggressive swinging couple invite Piper and Larry and their daughter to Scotland to stay with them. Which sounds really weird considering they just met and they only knew him at the resort. But Larry thinks it's a good idea for his daughter to make a friend because she's 11 and sleeps with a stuffed animal, and he thinks that's weird. Anyways, they go out to their farm in the middle of nowhere and shit gets weird. They feed the vegetarian wife some goose. They yell at their kids. They're very touchy-feely people. They left the kids with this babysitter that Larry and Piper have never met. Which, by the way, they went along with, just to let you know. Nobody was twisting their arm here. But that was while they went out to dinner, and then they talk about their sex lives. And the aggressive swinging couple are, like, mimicking fellatio in a restaurant. Thankfully, nobody else was there, and the restaurant owner was actually their friend, but you get my point. Well, anyways, they get back from dinner, the kids are already asleep, and Piper and Larry are having an argument because Larry won't defend Piper from James McAvoy, and Larry feels emasculated by Piper, and she's like, why the fuck won't you take up for me against this man? But whatever, we'll leave tomorrow. Until she gets up in the middle of the night to find her daughter. She is in bed with them. So she's very quietly picking up her kid, and they're like, okay, we're leaving now before they get up. Which is a hell of a lot calmer than anybody would be in that situation ever. Just sleeping or otherwise. So they snuck out of the house, but they left her stuffed animal, which is like her emotional support stuffed animal that she has to have because she has like major anxiety. So they have to go back to get Hoppy. And then there was like a whole argument over them leaving early, and they're like, you know, we should stay. We should be polite. So they're out back having a barbecue and things escalate. You know, the commercial with the fucking Cotton Eye Joe shit. So that's already uncomfortable. And then James McAvoy passes out because he drank too much. And the little boy takes the girl down to the basement and shows her like this photo album of all the kids they've kidnapped and families they've murdered. And she's like, oh shit. So she fakes getting her period so that her mom would go into the bathroom with her so she could explain everything. And they're trying to like leave, but then they get taken hostage and they gotta fight for their lives to get out, which they do. The end. Now, did I like it? Yeah, I had a good time. I thought it was interesting. Not really any jump scares, which was nice for once. Oh, and it's funny. It's funny as hell. But I am not without questions, comments, and concerns. Number one, your daughter is 11. Why do you have a hard time with her sleeping with a stuffed animal, but not with the fact that the mother told the babysitter that not to give her juice before bed? 11 years old is probably old enough to choose whether or not they want juice, but the stuffed animal's the problem. Also, why are you in such a hurry for her to get rid of it if she's going to bed with it? Nobody else is going to be in there. Which leads me to thought number 2. Why did you not raise more hell when you found your kid in their bed asleep? I don't have children, but in that scenario, fuck being quiet. Fuck a whole lot of my moral and ethical beliefs. Number 3, so the little boy tries to pass the girl a note at one point, but it's all in a language I can't read, and shows her the back of one of James McAvee's watches that also has a language I can't read. What does it say on either of them? I don't know. Did we ever find out? No. At one point, James McAvee's wife was screaming that she was his first victim, even though she was helping. It was actively kidnapping children because she wanted children. Did it turn out to be true? I don't know. Presumably, because he tried to take the little girl hostage and he's like, I'm not going to hurt her. I need someone to take care of me now. So I think it was true, but I'm not entirely certain because they seem to kidnap girls all the time. So I don't know if he just cycles them out until they get older, or if maybe he wants a wife and a daughter. And then, I don't know their justification for killing the kids they kidnap. Is it because they don't meet their expectations? Do they age out? And then, with the whole tongue thing, and this is where I get very confused. So, if you know from the previews, the little boy's tongue is already cut out. Now, because it is called Speak No Evil, you would think they cut it out because he was, spewing something bad, or he was yelling, or whatever. But then in the family photo you see of him, it's because he was sticking his tongue out. Which, considering James McAvee's whole, strive for perfection thing, he's thinking that's probably a problem factor. Which is why he would cut it out as, a punishment. But then his wife, who presumably was his first victim, still has her. But then when the family's taken hostage, he tried to sedate the daughter, and I think he was planning on cutting out her tongue because he said something about them not squirming. I don't know. I don't know if the whole tongue thing is all the children they kidnap or a one-off thing. My point being is there was no point to have a picture of him sticking his tongue out if the movie is called Speak No Evil, to which if he were saying bad things, he would have it. You see what I'm saying? And then they said something about their smokehouse or whatever, where the goose came from, or their butcher house or whatever. So I thought maybe they were raising these children to eat them, like a whole Chekhov's gun kind of thing, but that didn't happen either. But you know what did happen? The little girl grabbed the syringe and hid it in her pocket, and it was full of sedation. So she hit fucking James McAvee with it, and he passed out, and the little boy beat him to death with a brick. And this, ladies, gentlemen, and others, is what we will be using as evidence when we present our fight to Congress for a standard pocket size on women's clothing. I'm gonna give it 7 out of 10. It's fun, but we've got little pieces here that go nowhere. I still don't know what the fucking note said. Also, what would have happened had they actually been the worst house guest? Peeing on the side of the toilet, doesn't help with the dishes, never stops fucking talking. Would they have just killed him outright? What if the kid was extra annoying? Would they have just let him go? The first time they met her, she was on vacation and everything. She could have been shy, and then, as soon as she's in the house, she's the screaming, kicking Sephora kid or some shit. Would they have just changed their minds? 7 out of 10. Okay, bye. Talk to me. Tell me your name. She bangs. She bangs.